wow. I wrestled when I was a kid. I loved it. I should say I hated it, but I loved it. Both. I hated, when I was in junior high, I wrestled a little bit and just happened to get into the finals in the front of the whole junior high with my elementary and junior high bully friend, and I ended up wrestling him and beating him in front of the entire population of the junior high, which made me feel really good. Made me feel like I wasn't going to have to be bullied by him anymore or picked on by anyone anymore. I felt really good. So in high school, one coach says to me, his name was Coach Painter. I think his name was Steve Painter, but I'm not sure. He was my football coach, and he says, I've done a lot for you this year, Hunt. I want you to wrestle for our wrestling team. I'm like, I don't want to wrestle. But I'm like, okay, I will. I just did what my coach told me. I went out and wrestled the entire sophomore season, probably had 8 matches, went to practice once in a while, won 3 or 4 of my matches, lost 3 or 4. I can't remember. I don't know maybe I had 6 matches. I don't even remember how many matches I had, but I won about half and lost about half. I'm like, okay, that's cool, and I'm glad that's over with. Went to track. I like track. Next year, I started wrestling again with another coach, a coach again. So I wrestled with them, Coach Webb, and anyway, Coach Webb was a really good coach, and I learned that I liked wrestling quite a bit. It was still really difficult for me. I lost a lot of weight. It was horrible. I shouldn't have never lost all that weight. It was stupid. I should have just wrestled where I was at and gotten stronger from where I was at. But anyway, when my one son got into wrestling at Fremont High School, he got cut from the basketball team, which was like one of the happiest days of my life. He was one of the better players. Him and a few of the other kids were some of the better players. But Coach Graciano, I can't remember his name. Coach Graciano was the coach at Fremont at the time. He cut Brandon. Brandon was more cocky, more tough, hard ass player, and so were the other players that he cut. I think he just wanted a bunch of, straight A students that were they were almost like mama's boys. Some of the kids that he kept, because he cut a lot of really good kids that were tough players. But anyway, so he wrestled. He ended up wrestling. He says, "Dad, give me some wrestling shoes." Come across. He called me. He says, "Hey, we got to get some wrestling shoes." We went and got them. He ended up taking 6th that year in state. He did really good his junior year, his first year of wrestling. And then my son Shaun started wrestling in junior high. And that was a lot of fun. I taught him, I worked with him, I helped him, and he became extremely technical. And his goal was to win state in junior high. Whether it was his goal or my goal, probably would be questionable, probably more my goal, but I tried to point him towards something, some kind of a direction. And he was a skinny kid. He wasn't particularly confident and a very tough kid, but I knew that wrestling would help him handle life. So I encouraged him very heavily to get into wrestling. And we went to lots of tournaments, had a lot of fun wrestling. It was a great experience, but it was also a tough experience. Wrestling is a love-hate relationship. You hate it, but you also realize that you love it in so many ways too. It teaches a lot of respect. But I can't remember the kid's name, but anyway, he beat this kid in the finals up in Logan. I think it was at Skyview High School in the state junior high championship finals. He beat him, and it was a tough match. But Shaun really, really understands wrestling. He's very technical. I think he has more of a dislike for it than he has a like for it. But I think it's also helped him to be able to prepare for the tough realities of life. So I hope that something good came of it. But I do know one thing, that he and I we did more with each other, and it was a good thing for a father and son to do. I always tell him, I'll drive you around, I'll pick the fights for you, you fight them, and then we'll go find some more.